Hey everyone! In the ongoing effort to understand all of this game's secrets, here's another facts video. I had to trim the facts down on this one since these require a lot more explanation. 1. Let's say you and your friends are in the middle of playing, and all of you are simultaneously overcome with the urgent need for nachos. Well, normally the game doesn't care about your nachos and would still try to send enemies at you to kill you. However, the AI director pauses at all assembly points. This is a true hard pause, so the timers that run for enemy waves and extremis spawning in are paused during this time. This doesn't apply to basic door opening sequences, so areas like the door in Decapitation after placing the charges don't count. This refers to areas where you are actually told to assemble, and pretty much every single one has some type of physical marker, either dropping it down into it, where the door closes behind you, or an elevator. You have to enter the assembly area for this to work. Remember that this merely pauses the timer, so if you're already in the middle of a fight, coming up to an assembly point doesn't stop the enemies from attacking you. Something else to note, any assembly point that looks like the door would close behind you but doesn't will still pause the AI director. In fact, you can even backtrack out back to the prior area again and everything will remain paused until you proceed through the assembly point. 2. You can get out of fighting extremis by going through an assembly point most of the time. If you're going through an assembly point in which a door closes behind you, you're not guaranteed to lose the extremis if they happen to follow you into the room during the small window before the door closes, but the majority of the time you will lose them. If you're going through a point like an elevator, or any point that has a black screen, you will always lose the extremis. 3. Going through an assembly point will not necessarily work to get out of fighting an enemy wave. When an enemy wave occurs, the AI director spawns in several groups of enemies over time. You can see this on lower difficulties if you kill quickly enough. You'll see the entire group of enemies die, then another group will spawn in and pursue you. Here's my fully loaded level 25 sniper fighting an enemy wave. This is on minimal difficulty. So even if you're able to kill very quickly, it can still be time effective to actually wait out the waves before going through an assembly area instead of just rushing. You kill them and you'll see another group spawn in. Now this is an important distinction because when you pass through an assembly point, you're ditching the currently spawned in groups of enemies. If you don't believe me, check out all this convincing footage. Depending on how much longer you have for that wave, the AI director will just spawn the next sets after the assembly point. If it's a normal enemy wave, it seems the final wave is spawned in between 45 and 50 seconds after the enemy wave indicator. Because if you wait 50 seconds before entering the assembly area, the wave will not continue after the assembly point. And you'll see here an example of waiting not quite long enough, and you'll see the enemy wave will still be there after you go through the assembly point. If it's a massive enemy wave, you'll need to wait 1 minute 10 seconds after the indicator for this to work. This may sound like a long time to wait, but enemies don't even show up for about 15 seconds after the enemy wave notification. And here's an example of waiting not quite long enough for a massive enemy wave before proceeding. As for lethal and absolute, which don't have the visual indicator, unfortunately there's no way to know if it's massive or normal, so we just have to deal with that. One more thing to keep in mind is that it doesn't matter how long you wait inside the assembly area if you didn't wait for the proper amount of time before entering it. If you do that, it will just resume the wave once you proceed. That covers it for this one.
Many
hours
died to bring us this information.
As always, I hope this helps you be a better gamer and therefore a better person. May the gods of RNG smile on you.